All right, welcome back to Fleckus Talks, the podcast, episode 273. Today on the show, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the new frontrunner for New York City Mayor, Mohammed bin Al-Salman Abu Ramza. Then, Disney is about to ruin the sound of music with their new casting. We'll explain. Then in Cringe of the Week, we close out Pride Month with some clips and lessons learned. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, a man shot his uncle over a honey bun. What? All this and more, it's Fleckus Talks, the podcast, episode 273, ranked the best news podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleckus Talks, the podcast featuring Richard Grabboy.
All right, 1 for 1 on the intro, as always. Guys, new flavor alert. Farmer Bill has been cooking, and beef jerky is never going to be the same. He just launched 2 new flavors, garlic and herb and smokehouse. These 2 flavors were personally blended by Farmer Bill, and as you guys know, no other beef jerky company does it like Farmer Bill's does. Most jerky companies source their garlic from China because it's cheaper, but Chinese garlic is toxic and contains heavy metals. It would be easy for Farmer Bill to cut corners and no one would even know, but Farmer Bill is a patriot and only sources American garlic. The garlic and herb is a perfect blend of garlic, rosemary, parsley, and basil, and the smokehouse flavor is unlike anything else on the market. He's using smoked paprika, turmeric for a savory and smoky flavor with no liquid smoke, no nitrates, no soy, and no sugar. Just beef, apple cider vinegar, sea salt, and spices. You can bundle these with an 8-ounce slab or buy the bestseller bundle, which includes free shipping. The bestseller bundle includes original, spicy chili, garlic and herb, and smokehouse, a half-pound slab, and 2 jars of their grass-fed tallow balm. Use code FLECKUS20 at checkout for 20% off of your order, a massive offer. Go to farmerbillsprovisions.com. FLECKUS20 is the code. Let's support Farmer Bill. He's a patriot and a show watcher. FLECKUS20 is the code for 20% off. FarmerBillsProvisions.com is the website. It's also linked in the description. Thank you to Farmer Bill for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right. Thank you to Farmer Bill for sponsoring.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
The new flavors are so good. Okay, guys, a lot to get to. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Another week in the books.
Yeah.
You know what it's like.
I don't think there's much banter here. I think you're squeezing a towel with no water left in it.
All right.
Yes, it's Friday.
It's Friday. Next week's July 4th. That's nice.
Yeah, that'll be fun for a lot of you guys.
Everyone's feeling good. It's the summer. And, you know, summer's almost over.
All right.
And the year's almost over, too. Remember when it was just 2025? Now it's like 6 months till Christmas.
You're making me depressed.
All right.
Time is never time at all.
Yeah. Don't get too down or too depressed. Let's get right into the show. If
Okay.
You're ready.
All
right. Our first story is what we mentioned in the intro. The Sound of Music is considering, what is it? Can you just read the tweet?
Snow White actress Rachel Ziegler is set to play Maria in a new Sound of Music production.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say which side I'll be rooting for when that comes out.
I don't even know what the Sound of Music is about. I assume, what is it, World War II something?
Yeah, it's like World War II, and this lady who teaches the kids, teaches them to sing while the Nazis do bad stuff.
Okay, so now you're rooting for the...
I don't even want to say it.
Yeah.
I said I don't want to say who I want to root for. But they'll probably redo it and like make it America, and the bad guys instead of Nazis are like American MAGA fascists or something.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I don't know. And also, I just wanted to make a broader point here with all these Disney things. Walt Disney was very anti-Semitic.
Yeah, he was.
Like, everyone knows that. The cartoons, the original versions of the cartoons were anti-Semitic. And it's obviously come a long way. And now,
what do you mean by that?
In my mind, it's like Walt Disney was anti-Semitic. All of the Jewish people knew that. And then the Jewish people took over Disney.
For sure.
And are doing the opposite of anti-Semitism. So they're kind of treating Disney like it's like a scalp.
Yeah.
Like we got him.
This is what we do to your legacy.
Your legacy is exactly.
We're casting Rachel Ziegler again.
After doing.
We don't care if it flops. We'll burn money. Which is actually, that's not very Jewish.
But I think
Burning money.
Maybe something they care more than money is the legacy of someone that they deemed anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Subverting that legacy.
So they're really scalping Disney and getting him back for what he did.
Yeah, and I can't imagine what Rachel Ziegler thinks, and she just bounced back. You know, I remember people used to get blacklisted in Hollywood for a lot less.
Oh, yeah.
Like they step out of line, they disrespect a producer or something. She bombed an entire franchise that should have been a money printer. That's the thing. Snow White should have been an absolute money printer. It was all these parents who grew up on Snow White, bringing their kids, who are now going to get to grow up on Snow White. So not only did it flop, but it should have been such a free thing.
And then on top of that, she destroyed Snow White, and you'd think, oh, man, I might not work again for a while.
That's what I think.
And they call her and go, hey, you want to destroy Sound of Music too?
Let's run it back.
Let's do the whole playbook again.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Let's move on to our next story, RFK. We have a good and bad RFK section.
Okay.
The good is this headline.
Just in, Nestle has announced they'll be removing all artificial dyes from their foods by the end of the year. Maha is absolutely stacking the wins. And then we have a graphic of all the Nestle products.
That's the parent company, and they have all the baby food, L'Oreal, all the stuff that the toxic stuff's coming out of. Yep. So that's great. Mm-hmm. That's a win. Our next story from RFK is not as great. This is him doing a hearing or whatever. And listen to what he says about the wearables.
Diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the MAHA agenda, making America healthy again. And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
Okay, that's maybe Palantir can help with the data.
I don't know. What does he mean? Like Whoop and the rings and the stuff that tracks you?
The stuff that tracks your steps and all that. And
I'm sure that can't be used for nefarious reasons later down the line.
The government just wants us to be healthy. They don't want to use this opportunity to infringe on our rights. And maybe even for more accurate data, we can just get a chip put right into our hand.
Yeah, plug it in.
And that way we know how many steps we're taking. And then for convenience, we can have that chip attached to our credit cards.
Ooh, maybe even a social credit score.
I was going to say,
That's next.
Instead of doing a credit score based on our spending, we can do it in a social way.
Interesting.
A social credit system.
You know, people have been caught. I mean, they're pretty ubiquitous at this point. I'm not as schizophrenic as you, obviously, but people have been caught doing murders, cheating on their husbands and wives. You know what I mean? Like people are it's kind of already proving to be evidence in some ways. So
yeah,
it's interesting to see him advocate for that, though.
It is
like
interesting.
That's the government position is do wearables. I thought this was like Apple would be like, hey, buy this from us, please.
Yeah, exactly. It appears to be a nice thing, but we know how the government works. We know how data works. It can probably be used for more harm than good.
Yep.
Everyone should just take steps.
Yeah.
Just go 10,000 steps. Mm-hmm. All right.
Get some sun, 10,000 steps.
Exactly. Speaking of health stuff, there was a new fertility study related to the maxine. Can you read Dr. Simone Gold's tweet, please?
Yeah. A peer-reviewed study of 1.3 million women in the Czech Republic found that in 2022, vaccinated women had 33% fewer successful conceptions per 1,000 than unvaccinated women. This is not speculation, it's data. Time to wake up, she says. And the study was titled Rates of Successful Conceptions According to COVID-19 Vaccination Status, data from the Czech Republic. Do you want me to read this? I mean,
no, I think we get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the summation. Not good. And it's crazy.
That's a big sample size. 1.3 million people age 18 to 39, and then a 33% difference. That's pretty statistically significant.
Yeah, and it's crazy that I knew that, and I never did a study.
You were vibing it, guessing?
I just vibed it, and I just went off my feeling, and I turned out to be absolutely right.
Okay. Mark that down. Mark that down for Fleckus in the victory column. Vibes, predate study. And I mean, anecdotal, we've been kind of preaching that for a long time. Anecdotal, judge a book by its cover. Anecdotal evidence comes first against studies. So...
And I kind of was just like, I don't think it's going to be good for fertility. And then, I'm gonna put my lab coat on, I do a study.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have
Someone has to do a study eventually, right? That you don't dismiss studies.
Yeah. I got to the same conclusion. I didn't spend any millions of dollars.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Our next story, Matt Gaetz had some text leaked. Apparently, while he was at the airport, someone was like filming over his shoulder and got an exchange between him and his mom. We're going to read the exchange, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, here's a text from his mom. It says, "Don't be criticizing the president or his actions. He's trying to keep us safe. That's his job. MAGA will turn on you. You will lose viewership. Your days in Congress are over. Practice of law? Let's not mess up the media gig. The president has been very good friend to you. He hates betrayal." And then it goes on.
Yep, and then can you read the next one?
Gaetz said, "I'm a happily married man with a son on the way, 2 penthouse condos, a 1-to-1 real estate to debt ratio, and $500K in my bank account cash. I guess I'll keep hitting it till I die."
I love it. And then there was one last part.
He said, "But I've been freer to share my views, and I'll continue to do so. I think about the people who cheerleaded the Iraq war because they liked Bush. Those people have blood on their hands." So
One
this
of
was
us-
about Iran.
Yeah, it's about Iran. One of us, Matt Gaetz, kept it 100. Even though it's easy to just say whatever President Trump wants you to say, you need to have opposition if you truly believe it. And that's
Yep.
what we've said too. We don't want World War III, obviously, and we did avoid it. It's all quiet on the 7,000 mile away from home front.
Yeah, that front that I don't even fucking care about. It's been pretty quiet since then.
And his mom is like a Fox News boomer, it sounds like, which is like, understandable.
Yeah, and I like how this is supposed to be some revealing thing. Like the mom's giving advice, like be loyal to Trump, and then someone's like, "Oh, I got it. I'm selling this to TMZ." And it's like pretty wholesome, other than the 2 penthouse condo brag.
And the 500K in the bag.
500K, Matt Gaetz, pretty chill.
Let's go.
2 penthouse condos. All right, man. How many do you need?
That's what I like to see, and it's good to see a lot of people keeping it 100 and being honest, even if it means temporarily going against Trump. I think Trump appreciates that too.
His mom was right. Trump hates betrayal. But, I mean, that's like a delineation right there between the boomer Fox News, older types who are like, just go with it. And then the younger guys who are like, I really don't want to derail a presidency with a stupid fucking war 7,000 miles away. And that's obviously our view.
That's our view too. All right, let's get to our next story. There's the new New York City mayor, Zohran Mamdani.
Yeah, Zohran Mamdani. What is he, Dutch?
And he's been a citizen for 7 years, as I'm sure you guys know, and he won the Democrat primary, beating out Andrew Cuomo, and now he's going to face off against Eric Adams, who now we're somehow begging to win.
Yeah, who I'm somehow on Eric Adams' side immediately after he spent so much money on illegals and all the stupid shit. But he's our guy now. And Zohran Mamdani, you probably saw him on social media. He was running a campaign heavily based on like leftist influencers and people vouching for him towards the end there. Mm-hmm. Decent campaign. I'm not here to bash his campaign. He really kind of seemed like he was grinding, and while Andrew Cuomo was asleep, crypt keeper style, old man.
Yeah, that's how I saw it too. And then we have some of the things that this guy's called for. Like these are like his policies or things that he's advocated for in the past.
Yeah, previously called for abolish the NYPD, abolish prisons, abolish medical bills, abolish private health insurance, ban all guns, legalize sex work, safe injection sites, end cash bail, decriminalize drug possession, end sentencing enhancements, end all cooperation with ICE. Those are just some things that he's called for previously. That wasn't necessarily what he was campaigning on, but that should show you what kind of leftist this guy is. He is a self-described democratic socialist.
And he's a big believer in defund the police. He tweeted, "Queer liberation means defund the police." Don't see how that's related.
I don't even know what that sentence means. That's the interesting part. Like, and this is all 2020. This is in the peak of mania in 2020 when he was tweeting all this stuff. But yeah, defund the police, tweeted about it many times, right?
Yeah, and then queer liberation. Wait till you guys see the Pride section of Cringe.
They're already liberated, I think.
I think we're the ones locked up. I think we're the ones in the
jail.
cell. And then here's a tweet: we need to ban all guns. And with the ban all guns thing, you want to ban all guns, but then you also want to defund the police. And then also, when a black criminal gets arrested with a gun,
No cash
and
bail.
you knock down that gun charge. So the only people allowed to have guns are the criminals. You can't defend yourself, and the police morale is going to be at an all-time low.
Yeah, Gotham City recipe. We don't need an investigation to know that the NYPD is racist, anti-queer, and a major threat to public safety.
Yeah, the NYPD is a major threat to public safety.
Yeah, so he's crazy. I mean, we could go through 2020 tweets. He really got deep in that 2020 mania.
Oh, yeah.
As did most even regular leftists, but this guy is definitely more extreme. Some of the policies that he campaigned on specifically to get elected in New York for this election, like the things he was really focusing on, was no-cost childcare, $30 minimum wage. He wanted bus lines, certain bus lines to be free. He wanted state-run grocery stores. So those are some of his more recent things that he's been leaning on. He hasn't been screeching about queer liberation and defund the police on the campaign trail.
That's smart.
He learned to tone the rhetoric down, and we're going to get to these types of politicians learning in a second. But this is a quote from Mystery Grove. I know some people on the right have a sort of like, oh, whatever, New York City's already gone type attitude. And that's not necessarily the best attitude to have because much like California has a ton of Republicans and they're trapped in there. But I'm just going to read this passage from Mystery Grove. It says, if you can't see how handing control of America's largest and wealthiest city over to a Muslim socialist who became a citizen 6 years ago won't have negative consequences for Republicans nationally, you have a serious lack of vision. The only way to destroy left-wing movements is by depriving them of resources and bases to operate from. A victory for liberals anywhere is a defeat for conservatives everywhere. Radicals in every part of the country will be emboldened by an ascendant third world socialist movement. If you want to know why red states lose control of their major cities and inevitably become swing states, it's because their conservatives are quick to run away or wash their hands of obvious problems rather than fight outside of their comfort zone. And so that's the main point is like, he's going to have a $100 billion budget if he becomes mayor, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen what even Eric Adams will do, and now he seems like a moderate. So huge bankroll, like a great American city, despite its recent trend down, and handing a crazy socialist a huge budget and a giant American city is not good, right?
Not good. And then Matt Walsh had a tweet that summed up what New York is at this point.
Yeah, well, he just said 40% of New York City's population is foreign-born, not just second- and third-generation immigrants, foreign-born. Almost half the city wasn't born in this country. New York City isn't an American city anymore by any reasonable definition of the term. It's a tragedy and a disgrace.
And that's our best city.
It's the king of finance, right? It's like a global financial capital.
And it's half of everyone was just not even born there.
And we gave it to third worlders. And then here's the race of people who voted for Mamdani. Asians voted heavily. White people voted heavily. So a lot of minority support for him. And
that's part of the game plan. That's how they do it.
Of course.
And I'm not gonna be unfair. Don't love the guy. Obviously, don't want him running New York. But he did have a campaign promise about chicken over rice, street meat. He said it costs $10. And it's time to make it $8 again.
Yeah,
we all know how inflation affects street meat.
I know.
So there is a point. And then that reaches the average guy who goes and gets street meat every day, extra white, extra hot, all over the top. I get it.
Yeah. Fleckus, that used to be a staple of Fleckus's diet.
Yeah. All right, can you read that next tweet in that exchange?
Oh, yeah. And so we want to get to more the type of guy he is, right? This guy, he was born in Uganda. He's originally from some region in India that maybe got genocided, a Muslim part of India. He just shows up here a little while ago, has tried to do a rap career. I don't know if you guys have seen the social media, but kind of a mystery, right? And he reminded me a lot of Vivek on the other side, right? The guy who seems to say all the right things. And Scott Greer, and I think this term has been used before, but here's the tweet from Scott Greer. He says, the most important thing about Zoran isn't that he's a socialist or a Muslim. It's that he's a South Asian striver who realized socialism was his ticket to power in America.
South Asian striver.
That's a good term, and that's the way I see it for him. It's a guy who will say whatever he thinks, and he'll get to, climb the ladder in America. He'll say the exact right things, and he's a smart guy. He's an articulate guy, but I think he's flapping in the breeze and doesn't really have any true beliefs, and he goes, how do I get up? How do I go up from here? And that's the same thing that we've criticized Vivek on, where he has some weird thing where, yeah, but H-1Bs, we really need to keep piling them in. Yeah, America, he says all the right things on shutting down the border, and that's your constitutional and the right to bear arms.
I love President Trump.
But then he has this little kind of third world Indian sympathy.
I need my friends to do the tech jobs, though.
I do need those guys to do the tech jobs by the millions. Did I mention that? And you want me to keep reading this?
And keep in mind with the H-1B, with those tech jobs, like those are kind of the future jobs in America. Like we don't obviously make anything. We don't manufacture anything. All of the jobs no one wants to do is done by illegals. So it's like, what job would Americans want to do, and what job are Americans gonna want to do in the future? Probably tech jobs, and then those go to all the H-1Bs. So it is like hurting us in the future if we do keep that program.
For sure. And anecdotally, I just read that Microsoft was doing some layoffs, and they've done a decent amount of layoffs since 2022 when the tech market kind of took a slight downturn after the post-COVID run-up. But their H-1Bs have stayed steady. So again, Americans getting fired, but the H-1B supply keeps coming. And of course, Microsoft, Satya Nadella, Indian guy up top.
And then the South Asian striver, obviously, like we said, will say things, whatever people want to hear and how they want to hear it. Here's him getting called out by NBC for having fake accents.
More than they hate a politician they disagree with, they hate a politician they can't trust.
On the subject of trust, you've adopted different speaking accents in different scenarios.
But they go to their local bodega.
Is there one that's real and one that's affected?
What I would say is, as any immigrant knows, having been born in Kampala, Uganda, and then raised in South Africa and moving here when I'm 7 years old, is there are different parts of my life.
Worldwide tour is a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour.
Mamdani was talking about a worldwide press tour back when he was a rapper.
Bring the flavor to the fish, bring the flavor to the rice.
In a Disney movie directed by his mother.
Nepotism and hard work goes a long way.
He's got the full accent.
So it's just
sings about chicken and rice too.
It's just a certain type of guy who will go any direction, and he goes, how do I get up the ladder now? And I think these types of people, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of these in terms of political candidates. And then obviously white people, affluent white liberals in New York helped get him elected. And I think we're going to see a lot more people do this type of thing. And I don't think guys like this, he's been a citizen for less than 7 years. I don't think you should be mayor of the largest city in America.
I think you should get deported.
And some congressman is like sent a letter to Pam Bondi saying, this guy supported terrorists. I think he should be deported.
Can we deport this guy?
Which I think is pretty funny, which means he lied when he came into America or on his citizenship test. I don't know the mechanics of it. But I think a lot of these people, and I'm being fair where I don't think Vivek really means a lot of the stuff he says. I think he knows what people like. They see it and they see all these viewpoints as a data set. And they go, okay, with this data set, this, like they're studying for a class or a test. And they go, okay, those are all the best answers. That's what I think will get me up. And then I think the same way they view that ideology is how they view America. They don't view America as our country where my ancestors have made a life here and we fought and built and done everything. They see it as like a system to be gamed, and I can be at the top of that. I can have influence there. And so I think this is only the beginning of these South Asian strivers.
And it's way better to game the American system than to game the Indian system, because the Indian system is like a strict caste system, and even if you do game it, what do you get? You get to eat dirt.
You get the cow. You get the best cow, and then he shits somewhere.
It's all about cow shit.
Yeah.
And now it's all about chicken and rice.
Yeah, and now it's all about the GDP or something.
Yeah, there's levels to it. And then, like we said, we're begging for Eric Adams somehow. They're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way. Yeah. It's like, Eric Adams, please save New York. Yeah. The guy that was so bad. And there was a funny meme. This is from Twitter. Can you read that exchange?
This guy says, hey, just confirming, still good for tonight. See you at 8:30 at Little Rebel. Guy confirming a date. And the date replies, hey, yes, that still works. I did just want to ask you one thing to make sure we're on the same page and not waste time. Did you vote for Zoran for mayor? I'm really excited he won. And then the guy replies with a canceled reservation.
Your reservation has been canceled.
Yeah.
Tough to date in New York, I bet.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the guy has opinions that we don't like and is socialist and very weird and is making a lot of promises. Tons of promises related to freezing rent and increasing taxes on billionaires. And like overplaying your hand in that regard, billionaires just move. Like we know people are just going to move if they're going to be really negatively affected.
They'll go to New Jersey, they'll go to Florida, they'll go to Connecticut. Like it's not even hard to get off of Manhattan.
Yeah, I'm going to take a train, you know? And so, but I just wanted to focus on that point of like this fake type of politician who he moved here when he was X years old. He was raised in South Africa and like nobody really, like a homegrown guy, like Brett Kavanaugh. Remember Brett Kavanaugh? They're like, I like to drink beer. And they're like using that against him. Nobody knows where this guy fucking came from or what he was really like growing up or what views he used to hold. You come here, you fresh start, you say the right things, and then you become a South Asian striver in America.
Crazy.
And I really don't trust any of them, whether or not they're on the right or left. So
that's a good point, and I agree. All right, let's move on to our migrant section, which is pretty much related, especially considering our first clip is, believe it or not, from Brooklyn, New York. What the fuck happened?
Some of the foreign-born people right there, and that's what happens when you win World War II.
What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Oh, man. New York City, Brooklyn.
Big Apple.
And it's all that? And you think he's going to do more or less?
More.
And they're already here. And they're already having kids.
You know, one of the things, AOC, Trump did a tirade on AOC on Truth Social and was basically talking shit, calling her dumb. And she goes, I'm from the Bronx or whatever. And like these things like I'm from Brooklyn, I'm from Staten Island. They don't have any meaning anymore.
Yeah.
You're like, you like halal? You're in the Muslim area now?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the Mexican area? You know what I mean? It used to kind of mean something, those boroughs, like those identifications. Like, I'm tough, I got this. And now it's like you're an international third worlder.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's losing its...
Staten Island kind of held up.
Yeah, Staten Island is the only one that held up.
It's kind of like Italians, and that's it.
I just couldn't think of any more boroughs. What is it? Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Staten Island, Manhattan. And that's it?
5, right?
Yeah, 5.
Did you do 5?
I think.
So, not good, but we do have some good news. President Trump to end asylum claims of hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants, making them immediately deportable.
Yep.
So, go back to the countries you came from.
Yeah, and again, all of this stuff, we just covered the mayor, international socialist comes. All of these things are downhill from immigration, legal or illegal. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like, that's why we do a migrant section every week. That's why we're constantly hammering for deportations. All of these things are downhill from the immigration issue.
Exactly right. And then this next clip, this woman's mad that her sweatshop slaves stopped coming to their slave shifts.
It's a ghost town here today at my factory in East LA because people are scared to come to work. Very sad.
All right, you're kind of telling on yourself a little bit there.
Yeah.
It looks hot in that room, too. I don't think AC really works in a big room like that.
I see no ventilation and a concrete wall.
Not many windows. And,
100% illegals?
No one showed up because they're scared of ICE.
She had no idea. She had no clue, right?
And as you guys know, it's obviously illegal. We have the law here.
Yeah, USC 1324A makes it unlawful for employers to knowingly hire, recruit, or continue employing undocumented workers. Employers must verify employee eligibility using Form I-9 in the E-Verify system in some cases.
So you kind of ratted on yourself there.
It's like running from ICE. You don't show up to work after the ICE raids, and it's like, I thought I used E-Verify on you. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sick.
Yeah, we all got sick. And then there are some updates out of Florida. They're making alligator Alcatraz for migrants.
Attorney General James Uthmeyer here at the Miami-Dade Collier training facility. This is an old, virtually abandoned airport facility right in the middle of the Everglades. Florida's been leading on immigration enforcement, supporting the Trump administration and ICE's efforts to detain and deport criminal aliens. The governor tasked state leaders to identify places for new temporary detention facilities. I think this is the best one. As I call it, Alligator Alcatraz. This 30 square mile area is completely surrounded by the Everglades. Presents a efficient, low-cost opportunity to build a temporary detention facility because you don't need to invest that much in the perimeter. If people get out, there's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons. Nowhere to go.
Sounds like an investment opportunity.
That sounds good. We have an asset we weren't using. We have a problem that's currently costing us a lot. Let's put 2 and 2 together and some cool name. You got Alligator Alcatraz, brother.
It worked. And then that's obviously going to discourage a lot of illegals from coming to Florida or staying in Florida. They can go to New York and California and be safe there. Next.
And they can't. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know?
But they probably will. Next, we have a mayor of Kudai, California.
Yeah, good try.
And she's the vice mayor, never even heard of that, of a town or a city in California, and she's calling on gang members to take to the streets and oppose ICE.
Not for nothing, but I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you. It's everyone else who's not about the gang life that's out there protesting and speaking up. We're out there like fighting our turf, protecting our people. And like, where you at?
We gotta deport her too.
They're illegal. They're hiding from ICE too. And then also, the whole thing about gangs is they're hiding from federal law enforcement.
That's like the arch nemesis.
That's their kryptonite. Yeah, like, go fight federal law enforcement. What are you doing, you cholos?
And then they just go, oh, there they are.
Turn around.
Get them.
Yeah.
But that's a mayor?
That's a vice mayor, and that's the little fantasy. That's what they think. All the cholos who are here, who already are in their ethnic gangs, they're the ones who fight this. And it's like, do you know how fast it would turn into a fucking war zone?
Do you know how fast you get zip tied? You guys are all 5'6".
Yeah. You think people with masks, ICE agents wearing a bulletproof vest that says federal agent and then covering their face, you think that's the worst thing to worry about if the cholos start shooting at federal agents?
Yeah.
I guarantee you get zipped up.
Yep. And then everyone always...
and again, it's a woman. It's like a woman being like, where's my fucking fantasy? Where's my fake thing that'll never happen?
It's time to get tough, guys. Yeah, I'm a lady.
You guys need to risk your lives. I'm some Mexican woman. What the fuck do they think happens?
That's so true. And then, obviously, there's the people on the left who say, oh, they do the jobs no one wants to do, or who's going to build the houses. We're going to fast forward here and play it at 2 times speed. But Amish people, they can come build a house or a barn in a weekend.
Yeah.
And it's higher quality than the illegals, and it's not that expensive. It's cheaper than white labor. It's probably a little more expensive than illegal, but it splits the difference.
Oh, yeah. And it holds up.
And they're not going to scam you. They're just going to do their job. They're going to do a really good job, and then when they're done, see you later.
And we've shown you guys some of the housing stock, the new builds that come on, and like there's TikTok inspectors whose entire account is just like, what the fuck is that? Water's not clearing from there. This door won't open because of the toilet. Like they're throwing up shit houses with illegal immigrants. Like it's not what it used to be, right?
Very true. And then our next and last piece of the migrant section, this happened in America?
No, it's England.
In England.
Or Paris.
In Paris. This happened in Paris, but it's something you can expect in America soon. And listen to how they describe the guy.
Breaking, a 22-year-old British man has been arrested after attempting to marry a 9-year-old girl at Disneyland Park in Paris. The $150,000 event featured hired actors as guests. The mother of the 9-year-old was also arrested.
So a 22-year-old British man, disgusting.
British man.
And then
pieces of shit.
We found the follow-up tweet. That British man, you guessed it, Mohammed Al-Azawi El Habib. British man. From the countryside, probably. Disgusting. Fish and chips Bofugga. All right, well, that's the end of our migrant section. We're now moving on to the final page of housekeeping where I can say whatever I want. Use the opportunity to post, help us juice the algo, leave a like, leave a comment again, and start yapping. P.O. Box needs to be full with those racist trinkets. Notifications need to be on, old episodes need to be watched, and the link needs to be sent to the boys in the group chat.
There you go.
All right, final page of housekeeping. I'm going to cook.
Looking forward to it.
Nothing crazy, but we're starting off with something a little crazy. Okay. This is a reptilian shapeshifter caught on camera at the White House.
Oh! What was that?
So, do you agree it was caught on camera?
I agree. Totally. 100%.
And it was a shapeshifter.
Definitely. Reptilian.
Had to be.
Of course. Who else?
So it went back to her original form, which is the lizard face.
Yeah.
And they're among us.
Duh.
You know this.
Duh. We're in the final page of Housekeeping. Duh.
You've come a long way, Rap Boy. You used to not believe that stuff, and now you do.
I'm doing a different approach this time. I'm hyping you up instead of trying to bring you to reality.
All right, well, bring that energy to this next clip. We have another example of a bad world record. This woman...
We're coming back to this.
Yeah, we had to. And you know me. I don't like to repeat unless you really have to.
Of course.
We really had to. This woman holds the record for fastest burrito eating, and she gets handed the record at the end. Let that play, please. And we can fast forward. We'll play it at 2x speed because you guys get what's going on. So we can just scroll through. She's eating it. Hey.
Not even that fast. It doesn't
not
even
even
look
that
crazy.
fast. She's not even swallowing. She's not even using water. And then here she gets presented the certificate for the fastest burrito eating time, and it was 37 seconds.
Okay.
I could eat a burrito faster than that. I could eat 2 of those burritos in 37 seconds.
Okay.
I'm twice as fast as the world record holder.
Okay.
And then I found this random guy on TikTok.
I think the hardest part, to be honest, is the getting it all down, swallowing it, making it go away.
But if the insides are rice and sour cream and beans and chicken, you can just swallow. You don't have to even chew. You just bite, smush, swallow. Bite, smush, swallow. And you can just swallow the whole thing. It's not going to feel great.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. That was not impressive at all.
Not impressive at all.
Poster.
And they handed the poster, you're a world record holder. Guinness Book of World Records, another example of like a legacy ruined. Remember the book when you were kids in the library and you'd see the biggest snake and the tallest guy and the fattest guy and the shortest guy?
Yep.
Stupidest bitch.
Yeah. Dumbest bitch.
Dumbest bitch. Now it's nothing. The legacy's ruined. And look at this. This guy is some random guy on TikTok and look how fast he eats a burrito. This is the speed that a record holder should hold, and he's probably not even a world record holder. Like, there's probably faster guys than that.
This guy's doing it for the love of the game.
And he clocks in at 10 seconds, and you might be thinking, oh, that burrito was smaller. You think he couldn't do 2 of those in 20 seconds? You think he couldn't do 2 of those in 30 seconds?
Of course he could.
So, Guinness Book of World Records, do we have to report this?
I think we got to call somebody. Who oversees Guinness Book of World Records? Also, I particularly myself think that every food record in the Guinness Book of World Records should have an asterisk at the bottom that says, has not been attempted by Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
You don't think he could eat the burrito? He could stuff it in his gullet faster than that?
There's people who can just...
Obviously he could.
In 5 seconds, swallow a burrito.
Okay.
Did you ever see that girl with the giant mouth?
Yeah, Guinness is not respectable anymore, man.
They lost it. They sold out. And I don't want to even assume which group of people took over and ruined it.
Fucking Indians. South Asian strivers.
Yeah, South Asian strivers. All right, next, we have a couple tweets here that talk about IQ collapse and how it's affecting our society and how it happened and what's going to happen.
This tweet says, IQ collapse. This is a combination issue, but what isn't? And he says, high performers get taxed to pay low performers. Low performers reproduce faster. Open borders. Interbreeding of high IQ and low IQ people. Low IQ behavior is forgiven. High IQ behavior is punished. The global average IQ has already gone from third grade teacher to line cook in 20 years, and it's headed for homeless.
And then we have the next piece from ChatGPT, the point of no return.
This IQ is not easily boosted in adulthood. There is no mass educational program that undoes this. There is no political policy that reverses genetic trend lines in a single generation. Once your high IQ population begins to debreed, and you replace it with groups scoring 85 or lower on average, you cannot maintain a first world civilization. The math won't let you, and everyone in the upper echelons knows it. They just don't say it.
So that's what is being done to us.
That's what's at stake.
That's what it feels like, and that's what we're dealing with, and that's kind of like the deeper conversation that no one wants to have. Like when you talk about New York, half the City is foreign born. Foreign born from Germany?
No.
And it's like, maybe Germany now.
German man, Muhammad.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, that's the thing. And again, this is another downhill from immigration thing.
And it's very science-based. That's why I don't get it. Like, why is this looked down upon? Because it's like, it's racist or whatever. But then it's like, all right, forget race. I just want the highest IQ people. Who are they?
And and it's easily divided by race.
And it's
That's
like
just
Swedish and Dutch. Oh, okay.
My God. Scandinavia.
And then we have one last piece to round out the IQ collapse part.
Someone says, it is reported that IQ is widely falling even within family groups. Intelligence is inherited but also affected by environmental conditions such as urban versus rural. Urbanization is the biggest change to the human species, and one that has mostly occurred in the past 100 years. Thanks to Goran, who links a hypothesis that cities are IQ shredders theory. High IQ people move to cities for work where they have lower fertility rates. Thus, society on aggregate loses this cohort over time, or a percent of this cohort. The research shows that those who do have children experience environmental conditions that hinder IQ.
So that's what we're dealing with.
We're in a big IQ experiment right now.
Big IQ experiment, and it's not going our way.
Okay.
All right, let's get
What's
to
your IQ?
High.
22? 23?
100.
100. All right.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. I don't want to overestimate, and I wouldn't want to overestimate myself. I got an IQ test when I was a young kid.
You were smart.
And they said you're good. I don't remember the number. I think my parents lied to me to tell me that I had more potential. I took an IQ test and they were like, it's this. And I was like, what? That's crazy. That's
I think
high.
my parents did that to me too.
And then they lied to me so that I would achieve better in high school, which is
smart,
a good positive.
which is high IQ.
I know. So the only people who care about that, it's a self-fulfilling thing. We're the only person who would do that.
My parents did that to me too. I took like a test in 5th grade, and then they told me, like the teacher called my house or something, and then my parents told me I got like the highest grade in the class.
Yeah.
But that could have been a lie to make me think that if I didn't perform at the top of the class, I was underperforming.
And I think that's not a unique experience. I think a ton of millennial kids were like that. You're a genius.
You're the gifted program.
You're the gifted, and then you work at you got your degree, and then you couldn't get a job, and now you're at Starbucks. Now you're on a Fat Racist podcast. Now you know they're not necessarily using it for rocket science or anything like that.
That's a good point.
You sell software, and the software is fucking not even. It's for billing. It's billing software, believe it or not.
You love billing software. Yeah. When you were a kid, you used to write these invoices.
Yeah. You used to always think, how do I do better accounting? How do I help a small business with their accounting?
Yeah, that's funny shit.
So I think that's not a unique experience to be kind of told you're gifted or special.
Yeah.
Especially for millennials.
But you have to be a little smart to get the lie to work on you, because if you're stupid and you go, oh, you're the smartest kid in the class. Nah.
Totally.
I don't think so. All right, next is just a funny before and after from this random person from Twitter. The first tweet's from 2024, and the next tweet is 1 year later.
It says, don't demonize an entire breed because people are ignorant and can't handle the breed. I have a pit bull, and I'm a responsible owner, but you don't address the person, just the breed. I hope the man is okay, but your comments are unsettling.
And that same woman a year later, oh dear God, please intervene as only you can. I was brutally mauled by my own pit bull I had for 10 years since he was a puppy on October 9th. I felt life slipping away from me as I was airlifted to trauma center in New Jersey. I prayed so hard and God answered, do not lose hope.
Turns it into a religious thing instead of a pit bull thing when it attacks.
Yeah, it's called finding God the hard way.
Finding God, you could have found God easier. Trust me. Trust me. And that was God's plan for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a humbling experience. Maybe you'll learn from that.
And that's why I don't like or trust pit bulls, because I don't want to learn the hard way that I shouldn't like and trust pit bulls.
Yeah.
So I just kind of skip to the end.
You know what? You want to talk about IQ? The sign of a high IQ person is learning from other people's mistakes, not your own. You don't even have to make the mistake yourself. You don't have to step on a rake if you saw someone else do it.
You don't have to drink and drive if you saw your buddy get a DUI or kill somebody.
Exactly.
And then Trump says a sign of a high IQ is being able to predict the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, remember before the Maxine section when I predicted the future?
Yeah.
That was pretty smart.
Good job.
I said smarp.
Good job. Hey, you got it past me, buddy. Good work. Great final page of housekeeping.
You're not smart enough to.
You're doing great. I was too dumb. I was too dumb to hear
Dump.
that.
I heard it.
Okay, you caught me. You're high IQ. My IQ, your IQ. You're up here.
Yeah, he's
You're
right.
Head and shoulders.
He's right. I know I can admit when someone else is right. That's smart too.
You can learn from your own victory.
I think I just spit.
Hey, that's what a smart person would do. That's what a brilliant man would do.
Yeah, a
Einstein
dumb person would
spit.
try to hide it, but then a smart guy knows it's on camera and everyone saw it. I have to acknowledge it.
Exactly.
All right.
Smart. You're brilliant.
You don't get this
Can't
anywhere
believe
else,
it.
guys.
I can't believe it.
This dangerous button in the car. This is important information.
Did you know that there's a button in your car that can cause you to lose 50% of your cognitive performance? That button is the recirculating air button, and the reason why it can become dangerous is because it can lead CO2 levels to build up in your car to levels that are not very safe. Rebreathing CO2 is also a concern during anesthesia, and it also has a lot to do with how we get our bacon at the store. Let me explain. If you have just 3 people in your car, you can reach CO2 levels of 4,500 parts per million in just 10 minutes if you're recirculating the air. And it only takes 1/3 of those levels to cause a 50% decline in cognitive performance. I am an anesthesia provider, so when you come to the hospital to be put under anesthesia for surgery, this anesthesia machine is going to breathe for you and keep you under anesthesia, but it's also going to prevent you from rebreathing dangerously high levels of CO2 using this right here.
Anesthesia machine, they call it?
Yeah, whatever. The point is that you're breathing in carbon, dioxide?
Yeah. Monoxide.
All right.
So you don't want to use the air circulation button, but that is the button that makes the AC cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you do regular AC, I think it comes out like 80 degrees. And if you do the air circulation, it can get down to like 60.
Ooh, okay. So you got to take some cognitive decline if you want to be
I
cold.
air circulate. I got so much cognitive function that I can get halved.
You can spare 50.
I can get halved a few times, and I'm back to how you guys are.
That makes sense. So you drive it at average level. That makes sense. All right, good to know.
That's the end of housekeeping.
All right, we're skipping this video.
Yeah, I don't even remember what that was. All right, that's the end of housekeeping. We're now moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, Cringe of the Week. We have a lot of good cringe stuff, mostly Pride related. We're going to close out Pride Week, and a lot of these clips play off of each other. So our first one is from a New York City subway.
She was a fairy. Happy Pride, everybody! If you don't say Happy Pride, you're homophobic. Oh, look at these homophobes. Look at these homophobes. Look at these homophobes on the train.
You're holding them hostage, basically.
Yeah, they're in a tube. They can't get out. They're moving. There's already Pride posters everywhere.
On every wall, there's a Pride flag.
Yep.
It's all over. And look at the guy behind him with the red turban.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say Happy Pride, but
No.
he doesn't have to.
He gets a pass. Certain people get a pass.
He's allowed, but the white people, they have to say it. Yeah, the whole city's celebrating Pride, and it's like, if you don't say Happy Pride, you're a homophobe, but the entire city's shut down just for the gay people.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make sense. And they're doing it at other sporting events as well. This is the Mets holding everyone hostage for Pride as well. You see the guy shaking his ass. Mom, did you see me on the Jumbotron?
Yeah. Yeah, when are you going to settle down? Find a nice girl.
Shaking his ass like that on the Jumbotron. And then since that happened, the Mets are 1-10. So they lost every game except for one out of the 10. And they're 0-5 at home.
Cursed.
Basically cursed. And I was going to say the Pride stuff is what cursed the Mets, but the Mets have been pretty much cursed since inception.
For sure.
Unfortunately. And I also heard, it says here, the Pride Night bathroom cleanup crew gets time and a half pay.
That makes sense. Where'd you read that? New York Post or something?
No, I just wrote it. I just wrote it.
You just wrote it down. That's high IQ shit. You're conceptualizing.
It says right here.
Yeah.
It does.
In your handwriting. I see.
And remember the phrase "get a room"?
Of course.
That was used like back in the day for like even straight couples like kissing on a bench in the park. Hey, get a room.
Light kissing and like a little patting.
Yeah. Now there's gays twerking on a 40-foot TV in front of your kids.
Yeah. Get on the Jumbotron now.
And if you don't like it, you're homophobic.
Exactly.
So
come a long way.
We've definitely come a long way. And it seems like, I don't know if you guys noticed this too, it's not as bad in Florida, but when I travel and people I talk to, It seems like everywhere you go is a gay pride third world freak fest lately.
Yeah.
Can you read that?
Yeah, this was from one of our followers. He said, societal rot on full display. Went to a strawberry festival in the middle of nowhere farm country, Michigan. Was hopeful for a good day in a small town full of fellow rural Americans. But I showed up and was surrounded by the 3 Fs. Foreigners, fatties, and F-slurs. Heard at least 7 languages. Couldn't play soccer with my son because the soccer net was full of hijabs and Ahmeds. I even spotted a green buzzcut androgynous emo wheelchair gay. People watching almost feels like bird watching these days in a way. Here's a taste. Look at them ankles.
That's America now.
Yeah, giant. It seems like the white people are either funneled into gay or morbidly obese or
fentanyl
or skinny arms and low testosterone.
Yeah, or on like fentanyl and they're sad if they're normal.
And then they're giving away the country to the foreigners. And Strawberry Festival, that's the type of thing you would have fun with the family at. And instead you get depressed now.
Exactly. And then if you oppose this, if you oppose the state-enforced homosexuality, you become public enemy number 1. These kids did some burnouts with rental scooters in Atlanta at the crosswalk. Let that play. So here they go. They're just kind of fucking around. And there's a manhunt now.
Yeah, and they lit the pride flags on fire, right?
Yeah, they lit the pride flag on fire and kind of did some burnouts with the scooters. And they're now being manhunted for leaving tire marks on the road.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know, there's 1,600 unsolved homicides in Atlanta.
But the manhunt is for the petty property damage and burning flags that you bought on Amazon.
Yeah. So that's what they're focusing their resources on. And this is obviously an issue nationwide. Like Europe is further along into this direction than we are. This is a story here about Germany doing raids on people's homes for social media posts.
So Germany just conducted police raids against 170 Germans over alleged hate speech cases. Their homes were raided in early morning operations, with some also being targeted for insulting politicians on the internet. Imagine that, 6 a.m. breaking into your house to arrest you over something you said online. One of them called a politician drunk, he got a visit. Another called them an idiot, and he was also raided. Who would have thought that hate speech laws were there to protect the people in power? Wait a minute, hate speech isn't there to protect the everyday person, it's there to protect the politicians?
And you also get raided if you oppose the migrants or talk about migrant crime or the rape gangs.
Called someone an idiot. What are you fucking talking about?
Not good.
It feels good to be in America, but man, I hate watching my fellow European countries, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I got European blood.
But there is a German silver lining. A German footballer, Kevin Behrens, was suspended after refusing to sign fans' pride jerseys, saying, "I won't sign that gay shit."
He'll be raided soon.
But then I was going to say that's a silver lining, but I didn't realize he got suspended. So not a silver lining, but there are strong men saying, "Miss me with that gay shit."
Yeah.
Which I do like.
Of course.
And then we've talked about this before, about the gay voice and how it's fake and how when you get out of anesthesia, gay people talk normal, but then they put it back on.
They wake up from surgery and go, "Where am I?" And then they go, "Where am I?" After 20 minutes of realizing.
But recently there was a study done that proves this even more, something we've talked about in the past. Can you read the headline?
Yeah, it said gay voice, stable marker of sexual orientation or flexible communication device. And obviously it's a flexible communication device. Nobody's voice actually sounds like that.
Yeah.
They're signaling to other gays how gay they are. And then I think it's the gayer the voice, the gayer you are. The more willing you are to do some really bad shit.
Yeah, and it's like their bat signal.
Yeah.
They go to brunch and they go, "Yes!" And then the other gays hear it, and then they go into the bathroom, and then the gays fill their void.
It gets crazy in there. That's why the bathroom gets time and a half at the Mets game. After Pride Night.
It's not even scientific. And then it's the same thing where it's like, "Oh, we had a study done." You could have just called me.
They're faking it.
They're faking
I'm
it.
high IQ, they're faking it. Click.
How much are you going to pay for that study? 1.2 million? All right, send me 200 grand. They're faking it.
Funnel it to me, 80% discount, they're faking it.
Use the million to study the maxine effects on kids.
Yeah.
I'll take the 200K, use the million for that.
For sure.
It's not even hard.
All right, we're not even going to get into the study, but
yeah, we don't. You guys know it. Speaking of studies,
Okay.
There was a new study that was done. Dutch man hospitalized after inserting 15 hard-boiled eggs into his rectum. So 14 is the max. I'm assuming this was with the shells. You probably could have done more if it was scrambled.
Yeah.
Everyone
this was a one-man study.
And I know what you're all thinking.
What?
It probably felt really good when they all came out.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but yeah, scrambled is how you get more.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
All right, next, Sam Smith is a new kind of gay. I didn't even know this existed.
Sam Smith has broken the internet after revealing his penultimate sexuality, saying he's now xenosexual. Sam explains xenosexuality is a sexuality that cannot be understood by the human brain. Most of the time, we are attracted to non-human entities, but not necessarily aliens. You either get it or you don't. Pronouns these are. Did you just fall for some Facebook nothing made up? Did you check this at all?
And then
this sounds totally fake.
And then someone got a Sam Smith license plate.
FGD RTD. FGT RTD.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it does sound fake, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Good. You caught it at the end there, after we already spoke about it on the show.
Yeah, you can't. Your sexuality can't be comprehended by humans.
Okay.
And then there's a funny thing. In Spanish, the word for non-binary is non-binario or non-binaria, depending on the person's gender.
Yeah, good pronunciation.
That's funny. I took French.
I know.
And our last piece of cringe, is that correct? Yep.
Close to
Lilly.
Yeah.
Mr. Sir,
Lilly Tino, the man in the arena,
is now under investigation by Florida AG for filming women's bathrooms at Disney under code blah, 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 facing 5 years in prison and a $5,000 fine if charged and convicted.
Yeah.
She'll enjoy herself in male prison.
Yeah. Yeah, she's going to have a rough time in the all-male prison.
Maybe she can plead insanity.
Beat the fuck up.
Look what I spent $250K on.
That's the
these
ultimate
weird surgeries. I'm insane.
That's the ultimate hack. Yeah. Lily's under investigation. I would really love to see a punishment. The thing is, there's a little bit of weirdness to the whole Lilly filming himself in the women's bathrooms in Disney, which is, remember the whole thing where the left was fighting "Don't Say Gay" in Florida, and people were talking about how I'm leaving Florida because I have a trans kid and they're unsafe. All these things. They acted like it was a horror movie. And then Lilly was going around filming in the bathrooms. Like, shouldn't you have been like, whoa, I can't be here.
Yeah.
I can't be in Florida.
I thought everyone was scared.
Yeah. And then now we're going to give you a reason to be scared, Lilly.
Yeah.
Lilly, the AG, knock, knock. The AG's here.
You give us $5,000 and put your hands behind your back.
You posted proof on the internet, Lilly.
That's a good point. Don't say gay. Oh, Florida is like Afghanistan. Well, you shouldn't be filming in the bathroom if that's the case.
They didn't act like it. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of Cringe. We're now moving on to Urban Decay. All right. Our first clip of Urban Decay. Man fatally shoots uncle over a honey bun.
Right now, a 29-year-old man is behind bars accused of killing his uncle over a pastry. So this is the breaking news at 11 Alive, first brought to you last Thursday when DeKalb County Police swarmed a home on Loveless Drive in Ellenwood. Now, a new arrest report shows that Michael Crowley shot his uncle, 48-year-old Roderick Crowley, because he ate his honey bun. The warrant says that Michael called 911 and told police what he did. When officers got there, they say they found him in the woods nearby and took him into custody, charging him with malice murder.
They killing us.
Over honey buns. And they is my relative.
And to be fair, honey buns are 99 cents each.
Yep.
So maybe it was a financial motivated crime.
Yeah, that might be 50% of someone's net worth for all you know.
And the good news is I'll probably let him out on no bail.
Yeah.
So he'll be back home soon. What I want to talk about here is the impulse control. We're not even talking about stranger violence or getting drunk and fighting someone at a bar or getting aggressive on a cruise ship with some people you don't know. Mm-hmm. This is your uncle who you knew your whole life. You're 30 years old, 30-year relationship, and then you shoot him over $1 honey bun.
Over 99 cents. And honey buns are sold at every gas station, like every grocery store. He could go and find a honey bun or an equivalent, right?
And you get into a fight with your uncle and go, oh, I'm going to cool off, take a walk, and I'm going to walk within 10 minutes and get a new honey bun.
Mm-hmm. Instead, I'm spending the night in jail. I have to call an attorney. I'm on trial. Like, the impulse control to not have that foresight is so crazy. And I mean, we just make new lows every week. We hear about this type of shit every week.
Mayo packet, chicken tenders, now honey buns.
Guacamole, everything.
And I found this meme I thought was pretty interesting to compare to where we're at now. A 1960s photo of black Americans training to not react during a sit-in. So people would blow smoke in their face, they'd harass them, they'd throw food at them, and this is like them training to not react. And then you shoot your own uncle over a honey bun. Come a long way. Everyone's in suits.
Yeah.
Dressed nicely. 2-parent households.
Lost that.
We definitely lost that one. All right, next, this mom with an AR-15 is about to shoot a white guy.
Go on Family Dollar right now, nigga. Mama! Don't grab my shit, nigga! You shouldn't have been on my shit! Man, don't get it before I get mad! Don't get it before I get mad! Don't get it before I get mad, nigga! Don't get it before I get mad! Don't get it before I get mad!
So repeating.
Go get it before I get mad.
Go get it before I get mad. Go get it before I get mad. So repeating and holding a rifle, you're about 90% going to die. The 10% chance that you have to live is if she sprays and misses or if her rifle jams because she doesn't maintain it properly.
Yeah. So a pretty good chance, actually. I think it might be a little less than 90. But yeah, there's this weird thing that happens. We just talked about someone getting shot over a honey bun, and that was his relative. This is a white guy who's an employee of somewhere, or he was forced to interact with this woman. She's walking at him with an AR-15 or, some sort of rifle. I don't actually know. And she's walking at him and he doesn't turn and run. He's like, I'm going to talk to this person. I'm going to de-escalate this. This is a turn and run scenario.
To be fair, that you know how you turn and run from a dog and then it chases you?
Yeah.
The turn and run might trigger her instinct to just go boom, 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 boom.
But I think she misses. The thing is, you're talking to someone who has such a mental deficiency that you have to just go the other way no matter what. Maybe never go to work again.
Yeah.
Because if this person knows where you work, you have to never go again. Someone's going to kill you. And your life is worth more than $8.99 an hour or whatever.
It's true. And then another bad part of this, she looks like she could be pregnant. And then her son is the only rational person there. Mama, no, mama, no. And while we're on this topic of black on white crime, we have our 2024 numbers. They are in. Blacks killed 458 whites. Whites killed 84 blacks.
Yeah.
United States is 13.7% black, 58.4% white. Blacks are 23 times more likely to kill a white person than whites are to kill black people. And remember, everyone talks about per capita.
Yeah.
That's not per capita anymore. Per capita would be like white people kill 100 black people and black people kill 13 white people. And it's like, oh, ratio-wise, black people are killing more white people than white people are killing black people by a lot.
It's always been that absolute
And
value.
keep in mind, we have a lot of situations where the stats are skewed because a lot of times Hispanic people are listed as whites, like we see here.
Yeah.
Menendez, Gonzalez, Remedios.
How about Jose Fernando Dominguez Garcia? And he's non-Hispanic. Every piece of his name is so Hispanic. Jose Fernando Dominguez Garcia. That's crazy. That's 4 names.
Juan Jesus Romero Perez.
They all just have these 4-piece Spanish names in different orders. Jose Jesus Juan, and then Romero Juan Jesus. They all just switch them around, and then they're somehow non-white. So they're in our numbers.
Remedios Menendez Gonzalez, and then Jose Fernando Dominguez Garcia.
He's not Hispanic. Remember, he's not Hispanic.
And then here we have some correlation. Crime is demographic, which is a polite / scared way to say racial.
Yeah.
Look at the correlation there.
Of course.
It's almost 1-to-1 or whatever.
Yeah, 0.8 or 80.5% correlation.
And then we have what I kind of mentioned before. We have this bubble graph here. And you kind of have what people think is going on. Like, oh, blacks and whites and then the criminals and whatever. This is what it actually is, the bottom one.
Yeah, that's a good visualization.
That's a reality, which is very interesting. And then don't forget also, I looked up the stat, about half of murders are unsolved right now. So we have the stats of like solved murder cases, and then that's only working with half the pool. So it's almost twice as bad if you extrapolate.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
And I would think a lot of white people murders are more likely to get solved based on who they're killing. Like, oh, I went crazy, I killed my wife, or oh, I did this. It's like the random gang violence is the stuff that gets unsolved. Nobody talks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can back into it by who the victims were, because most people murder within racial lines and all that.
So it's the numbers are double as bad, and the percentage in the unsolved is probably even more racially skewed.
Yep.
All right, our next clip. This mom gives her son some advice when it comes to his career.
Getting no job. If you go get a job, they're going to take my Section 8. Then you won't be able to get no Section 8. You're not going to get no job. They're going to count your income against my Section 8 and my link card. You're not working. No. So I don't care what you got to say. I don't care how you feel. You're not working. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to school. You're not doing none of that shit.
But Ma, I'm saying how I'm supposed to be successful in life, Ma. So you basically telling me I gotta be broke to be successful? I gotta be broke so I can get Section 8?
You gotta be
so
broke so the government can help you.
So the government can help me. So you telling me I can't work no job, bro? Like that's like all my friends got jobs and live in nice houses. So you telling me I got to go through the same thing you went through?
If you
have a house?
don't do any of that, they're going to take my Section 8.
How?
And I'm
Won't
trying
they
to
be
tell
like?
you
Won't
that
they
you
be?
can go get yours at ease. You can go get
They will.
nice house.
No, they will look at that and be like, he's doing something and give me a bigger house, Ma. That's what you told me.
Where I'm gonna go? I don't have no job.
I can get off your Section 8 and apply for my own Section 8.
But if you do that, you're gonna have to go the hard way. It's gonna take a long.
So what? That's what I'm
Wait
saying.
a few months, get on Section 8, find you a nice apartment, go get you a link card. You will be fine. You don't have to sit.
She's in bed like Charlie Wonka's grandparents.
Yeah, Charlie Wonka. Yeah. She'll be dancing when the link card gets refilled, dancing in the aisles of Walmart.
Yeah.
It's exactly like Willy Wonka, actually.
Yeah.
Free candy, soda, whatever you want from Walmart. Damn.
Now, there is a chance this could be a skit, and she's a great actor.
Yeah, there's always that chance.
Hoping for that.
Yeah.
But obviously what you see here is the incentives for handouts and like what happens to people when they get the handouts. It's the opposite of the intended way it was supposed to be.
Yeah, you can't incentivize this because then you get a world full of Charlie Wonka, as you called it, the dad from Willy Wonka. And then even the kid has like a weird misunderstanding where he goes, but if I have a job, they'll give me a bigger house. Like even his idea of working on his own, he thinks someone's going to come and give him a bigger house. You got that minimum wage job. Here's an even bigger house. Yeah. This is Section 9. Your mom doesn't even know about this.
That's
it's bigger
so
than
true.
Section 8.
And then say you get $1,000 a month, or say you get $2,000 a month in free money.
Yeah.
Why would you work $500 a week or $700 a week to make $2,800 a month, and you can have no job and make $800 less?
Yeah, of course.
Why would you ever do it?
Of course.
And then when it comes to the black community and the things they're going through, we kind of analyze it weekly.
Yeah,
we show the crime, we show the EBT abuse, all that stuff. There are different examples that are used on CNN for why there's issues. Listen to what Jamal Bowman says.
You can't be calm about this. I'm a black man in America. The reason why heart disease...
I'm white, I can't comment
Listen
on
to what I'm saying. The reason why heart disease and cancer and
racist
obesity
and
diabetes are bigger in the black community is because of the stress we carry from having to deal with being called the N-word directly or indirectly every day.
That's pretty good.
So you can give someone diabetes if you just hammer the N-word.
I've been making people really sick.
Yeah. Cut me off in traffic, you're gaining 5 pounds.
And that's the thing, too. Like, no one is even calling black people the N-word. Anytime it happens, it's always recorded and, like, it goes all over social media, and it's rare.
It's a life ruiner, you know?
And, exactly, but it's rare. It's not like it's, like, happening and there's racism and it's, like, the South 100 years ago. Yeah. It's like it happens here and there, and then that person goes viral and like loses everything, or they go viral and make $500,000 or $1 million.
And this guy Jamal Bowman is the opposite side of you. He's got like the I don't need to do a study, I got the instincts, but it's the dead wrong instincts, you know.
That's pretty crazy. And
the N-word gave me diabetes. The N-word made me fat. The N-word gave me a heart attack. Do you think it could be anything else? Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's try to control for one or two possible reasons.
And then he says calling black people the N-word directly or indirectly.
This made me more racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hearing a video of someone assert something so nonsensical and then shut down the white guy and go, I'm a black man in America, let me say my piece. And then that's your piece. How am I supposed to take you seriously or not get more racist?
How am I supposed to not call you the N-word in my head?
Yeah, Jamal Bowman. I'm saying it. It's on repeat. I'm spitting an apple in my head. I'm visualizing that. You probably can't.
If I didn't eat breakfast this morning, I would feel hungry.
It's crazy what happened. You know? Like,
but it all comes back to being called the N-word, and it's like no one's even doing that.
Yeah.
We say it as a joke.
Yeah.
We say it in our own privacy of our own homes. All right, let's get to our next thing. There is some fatigue. You know, we showed the Sam Smith license plate. There's some black fatigue license plates as well.
Dirty Enners. I don't know. What could it be?
I don't know.
You have to explain what you're getting at the DMV. You have to like explain it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what he must have had a convincing case or a Jamal Bowman level intelligence DMV employee.
Yeah.
Who we could trick.
It's like dirt. It's dirt YNRS. Youth National,
Young National
Resource
Republican.
Center.
Yeah.
All right. Next, there was a fight at the lake.
There's no music on this one, so here it is. You spend all day. Pack up the truck. You get the tents, the tables, the barbecue, all for it to just get torn down in some urban fight. You can never use it again because the aluminum legs are bent. Looks like people are down on the ground, so someone must have been shooting.
And this is like your day off. You go to the lake, you pack up the car, you go with your family, you have day off. It's a nice summer day. You're going to enjoy yourself.
It's the most relaxed you can possibly be. You're off, you're gathering. And it just goes to show you that like they carry this shit everywhere.
Yeah.
You could be in the Maldives on one of those like cabanas where you have your own private diving area right in, you know, Kim Kardashian, Instagram models do it. And like, you're going to flip a table and fight someone. Yeah. It's unbelievable. So,
all right. Our next clip is just it's just a street rat kind of freaking out.
There he is. This is a zombie, technically. I think this is a white guy, too.
Yep. And it's sad. Obviously, this person's like very fucked up, but we just saw 28 years later, the zombie movie, and that's the kind of shit they were doing.
Yeah. And in the movie, they shot him in the head with an arrow. So,
yeah. So imagine this person comes and like grabs you or bites you or you get their blood on you and then you turn into that too. Now we have a problem.
I know. All of a sudden, it's quarantined.
Predictive programming.
And you know what? This guy wouldn't be doing that if he had a house, if he had stable housing. If someone had given him a house, like a San Francisco nonprofit or something, that guy wouldn't be writhing on the street.
He needs a job.
And you know, when you said earlier, you remember get a room?
Mm-hmm.
Remember disturbing the peace?
Yeah, that used to be a crime.
They don't do that anymore. This guy he's in the middle of the road, he's writhing, thrashing like a zombie. But that's nothing. There's no crime. A cop comes up and goes, there's no crime. He's disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
We need to get back to old school shit. Get a room, disturbing the peace.
Yeah. Tim Dillon had a funny bit about these types. He said, interest rates are too high. It's the interest rates.
Classic.
Pretty good. All right, next, there's a multi-clip series here. This guy was at the mall. He steals sunglasses. And then we'll show that part. So here's him stealing the sunglasses. He just puts them on and kind of...
just let it play.
Keep telling them, stop playing with
showing off
me. Damn, feel me?
A few moments later.
And now he's running from the mall security or cops. Oh! And he jumps down onto the ice rink in the Houston Galleria Mall. And his ankles backwards, double leg broken.
He tried to jump from the second story and land on the soft ice.
Yeah, the notoriously soft ice.
Similar to snow.
And so I'm going to show you this here. This guy just broke both his legs running from the police shoplifting, and he's immediately on his phone.
Loves playing on his phone.
He's playing on his phone. He's calling his mom, or he's calling somebody.
Mama, they got me.
They got me. And so we're going to show you another clip too eventually. But this is like ruining your life for something that's pretty petty, right? And this goes with the impulsive criminal section. I'm learning about these behaviors. The guy stole maybe $100 sunglasses, which maybe gets him thrown in jail if he has a previous rap sheet for a little bit, right? But, you know, petty theft, America these days, you're in and out, right?
No, you stole $50 sunglasses.
Yeah, no big deal. Instead, you have double broken legs. You'll never walk the same. 9 months in a wheelchair, and then 10 months of physical therapy after that with maybe an $80,000 medical bill.
And you resisted arrest and tried to flee.
So it's worse. So now you're broken legs and you're in jail. Then we have another similar one. This is a little older, but I saw this and I thought I'd share because it has a lot of similarities in this. And this is a police confronting a woman who was just caught shoplifting. And she's so stupid. She's so dumb. She was shoplifting in the same mall where she works. So she works at a Dunkin' Donuts there, and she's shoplifting. And here's the confrontation. The cop's body cam. Sees her. She tries.
Come here. Don't buck. Go over there.
Wow.
Come here.
Don't touch me.
She runs.
She's not fast.
Runs into a pole head first. I need my phone.
I need to do my thing. Wait, my phone. Hang on. Wait, I got my teeth.
Okay. Put it behind your behind. All right. Stop resisting. You got 3 of us here. All right.
She says, "Wait, I dropped my teeth."
All right.
Wait, put my teeth.
Here. All right. Hey, I'm taking this out of her hand because it keeps ringing.
Should have ran, huh?
Let
I need this one
let
for
go.
my mom.
Nope. She is going to search you.
They had me running from him, and I didn't even do what they said that I did. That's what's so crazy.
So you're stealing like $5, $10 worth of stuff.
And she says that they had me running from him. There's a removal of responsibility. They had me running from him, and that was her instinct. She knocked out all of her front teeth. And you want to know the dark or sad part about this? Is wherever she stole from, the cops said the employee didn't want to come down and identify her, so she was likely just going to get the stuff taken from her and then let go. Like, that's like a part of the pressing charges is the employee has to identify her. So she lost her whole front teeth because the impulsive decision. And then the same thing that we saw in the clip before, you lose all your teeth, you break both your legs, and then where's my phone? It's a very weird thing. Like once they're caught or know they're done, then it's, I got to call my mom. I got to call my mom.
They getting me.
Yeah. And this woman actually lied to her family. Her family wanted to press charges, I think, is the story, because she told them the police knocked her teeth out. So when body cam footage disproved that, the family was disappointed in Sean Drekika or whatever her name is.
Yeah, charges dropped. All right. Well, don't get too down or too depressed. We're now moving on to Uplifting Gold. All right, our first clip of Uplifting Gold. POV when your son gets a grill for his 4th birthday. That's uplifting.
What's that? No, what's that?
That's my diamond teeth.
It's gold, son.
And he already has his ears pierced. That's nice.
Yeah. Hey, I get a student of the week. I get a song.
You about to make a banger, son?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't be messed with?
Yeah.
You the hardest kid out?
Yeah.
Oh, what we making? We making some ballin' music, trapping music? What we doing? You about to tell him what you talking about in the song?
That's nice.
At least his dad's there.
His dad is there.
Not the greatest influence.
He's encouraging the kid to be a rapper.
Okay.
And have beefs and gold teeth, and he already has diamond earrings, but that's uplifting.
Because?
Because it's his birthday.
Yeah.
And his dad got him a gift on his birthday. All right. This next clip is a little blurry, but I think it's worth it. These kids like ran out of a movie theater from security, and then one of the kids that the security guard's looking for is hiding above the security guard.
But we don't know where he went.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So he could be in the parking lot somewhere, huh?
I think he's in the bathroom. We just finished How to Train Your Dragon.
How was it?
Dude, honestly, it was a lot of fun.
Was it?
It was just like the animated movie, but like in live action.
hiding above the security guard.
That's good stuff.
That's pretty good. All right, next, this was a play, and there was an error by the soundboard operator. That's good. Isn't that funny?
I don't think that was an error. I think that was sabotage.
And everyone started laughing.
Yeah.
All right, next, this guy is an Oklahoma business owner, and he loves Trump, and he got a very special phone call.
What can I get you?
Little Mike's.
Here at Little Mike's Hamburgers in Oklahoma City, there's nothing little about Mike's love for President Trump.
Mike is a very interesting guy.
For over 40 years, Mike has been slinging burgers, slogans, and smiles.
He's just really nice to all of his customers.
And his branded burgers are a customer favorite. And one customer just happens to be a man with many connections, Senator James Lankford.
He sent me a text. He said, are you sitting down? And I texted back, yes, and then he sent me the video. It's unbelievable.
Hi, Mike. How you doing? It's Donald Trump, and I appreciate all your support. Your hamburgers look fantastic.
I was floored.
The video message helping Mike stay strong in the risk he knows he's taking.
You kind of put your business on the line, but he's what I believe in.
But that's not all.
And when I'm out there, I'm stopping at your place. Come on.
No pressure, right? So what do you make for the leader of the free world?
I think Trump is about my age, so he would want mustard, pickle, and onion.
Maybe a little ketchup, or Thousand Island. All right. Mustard on a burger, not my favorite. It's an old people do that.
Yeah.
But that's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I like people can just get access to Trump. Trump is like you would say, he's basically an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
He'll do cameos. He'll do the shout-outs.
And people think it's risky to be a right-wing business, and it is in some places. Yeah. Oklahoma, not so much. But when you do it, you actually get instead of having we're just going to appeal to everybody and be milquetoast and vanilla. When you commit to being right-wing, you get every right-winger as opposed to a little bit of everybody.
Yeah. That's
true. You get more intense right-wingers. You get bigger tips.
Definitely depends where you are.
Depends where you are. All right, next. This is a funny moment this guy had with his son.
1, 2, 3.
I just pee on my pants.
You did what?
I peed in my pants.
I peed in my pants. That's pretty good. Okay. All right, and then our last clip of Uplifting Gold, as you guys know, is the Pure Americana clip of the week. We have John, who's 11, and Bo, who's 8, and they're both driving combines together. Isn't that cool?
John in the combine and Bo in the grain cart working together on their first on-the-go grain dump. Let's see him.
John, how fast you going?
Look at your intersection. I'm going for green beans. About 5.
I'm gonna be going 5.4. Going 5.4.
All right, you get the point. Now he's dumping.
Isn't that cool?
Good for them.
You don't need to hire illegal immigrants.
Absolutely. Just need to have children who are smart enough to do that at a young age.
Which is pretty good.
Who are those people? You know them or no?
No, they're just farmers.
Good.
Children of farmers. All right, I have some shout-outs. It's the end of the episode. Let's see here. No need to have an illegal immigrant alien work on your farm. Happy anniversary, 1 year to Eric and Haley.
Wow.
On June 29th. They've been married for a year. They love the show. They're bonus landers.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Enjoy it.
I said anniversary.
Right.
Happy birthday to Dad Down Bad on Twitter on June 25th. We appreciate you being a great show watcher. Happy birthday. Hope the boys in the group chat think this is cool.
Yep.
Happy birthday to Kevin on June 26th. He turns 42.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
Happy 42nd. Happy birthday to Frank Cash on 6/27.
Frank Cash?
Frank Cash, yeah, on June 27th. And happy birthday for last year and the year before that, because we missed those.
3 years total, 3 happy birthdays.
Yep, prorated.
Frank Cash.
Happy birthday, Frank Cash. Thank you guys for watching. You're a great couple. Happy birthday to Hunter Davis on June 26th. Hunter Davis, happy birthday. Hunter got a Christmas gift, a Fleckis Care Package Christmas gift for Christmas.
A Christmas gift for Christmas? A Fleckis Care Package?
And now it's his
Very
birthday.
nice, Hunter Davis. Very nice.
Happy birthday, Hunter Davis. And then happy birthday to Josh on June 28th. He loves the show.
Happy birthday, Josh, on June 28th.
And then
I hear you love the show.
And then we have some pictures here. Congrats to Danielle and her husband who were just married.
Wow.
And then their friends, Haley and her husband, loved the show, and then they even wrote the show tagline on their drywall.
Good for
And then
you
that's
guys.
all them hanging out.
Hey.
Couples who watch the show together stay together.
Yeah. And then friend groups who watch the show together. There's never any problems there.
Yeah. And so if any of you start not watching the show, it's like, why are we straying?
Yeah, it's a buddy system thing.
It's a buddy system.
Hold each other accountable.
So if you guys keep watching the show for the rest of your lives, you'll be married for the rest of your lives. And then I am
grandfather.
I'm like a linchpin keystone of that relationship.
You're like an
and
uncle.
You are too.
You're like an uncle, and I'm like a drunk alcoholic uncle.
And when it's time for children, we have some name recommendations for you.
Yep.
Richard is a nice American name. Fleckus is unique.
Yeah, very.
All right, well, that's the end of the episode. Another Fleckus Talks in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you're still watching at this point, the very end of the show, and you want 30 minutes extra, FleckusTalks.com for Bonus Land is where you go find that extra. We do 30-minute Bonus Land after every episode. It's a nice community. It's a bunch of people. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.
When you feel like the world is backwards and upside down, notifications on, and then you hear the sound. We're heading to the bathroom, you know we gotta go. 'Cause Fleckers and Red Boy just uploaded the show. Fleckers Talk, give it up to the world's best host. Fleckers Talk, choose the uncle and tickle the post. The only way the show can be defined, the best news podcast of all time. On the last page of Housekeeping, we're letting Fleckers cook. There's a new alien spin, Red Boy shoots him a look. It's exactly what the feds wouldn't want you to see, but it could be a distraction, and that rings true to me. Fleckers Talk, give it up to the world's best host. Fleckers Talk, choose the uncle and tickle the post. The only way the show can be defined, best news podcast of all time. We're yapping in the comments. Yeah, yapping in the comments. Don't get too down or too depressed. From Cringe of the Week and Urban Decay, there's uplifting gold and
Oh, look at these homophobes. Look at these homophobes. Look at these homophobes on the train.